me set the stage for you guys. I was at home a little bit ago, minding my own business. I get a text message. It's from Abe Kawan. He says, hey, Masvidal wants to talk. I said, Abe, why do I feel like I'm being set up? I said, what time is it where you are? He said, 4 a.m. I said, Masvidal's got to be exhausted. He said, this isn't our first rodeo. Do you want to talk? I said, yeah, man, I want to talk to Jorge. What do I got to do? He said, get to the studio and call him. So here we are. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, player? How you doing, man?
First off, it's got to be what now? About 5:30 your time? 6 a.m.?
Yeah, 6 a.m. right now.
All right, take me through fight week. First off, why am I here? I mean, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit honored, not for nothing, but I'm a fan, and this is your week. I don't belong in it. What do I have to do with this, and what are you doing awake? You got to be tired.
I was just working out right now. I got out of the plane. I had slept the last leg of the plane. I slept like a good 5-6 hours. So I got here with a little bit of energy, and I decided to save some pounds off. You know how it is. We got to work these pounds off. They don't come out by themselves, so I just been sweating it up. I lost a decent amount of weight right now. I'm about to hit the sack in a little bit now.
Okay, now, a couple of fighters that I know that are out there were saying, look, man, they've thought of everything. Fight Island's amazing, except the weight cut. They said, we're kind of on our own for the weight cut. There's not a gym, by example. So what does that look like? Like, do you have access to a sauna, to a workout room?
It's tough because we got to do a 48-hour quarantine till you get the test results. Meaning you're stuck in the room, and if you have somebody else stuck in that room with you, awesome. I got enough space set up. We were able to lay down some mats and stuff, and I'll be doing all my weight cutting here probably. You know, I'll turn up the room as high as I can get it, and getting me the hot tub or just a sauna suit and start jumping rope and getting this weight off the old-fashioned way. I also got a treadmill in the room, so I don't have to leave the room for the basic necessities, you know?
Now, there was two conflicting stories about you that have come out in the last couple of days. First was that you were 22 pounds overweight. Second was that you had the plane stop in Italy so you could get a few slices of pizza. Which one of those are accurate?
They're both accurate. It's not 22. It was like right under 21 pounds. I was 20 pounds point something when we like agreed to all the terms and stuff. That's when I decided to get on the scale. Now I'm traveling with a team of like 7-8 fellas, so I don't want people to think that this is me eating a pizza as much as I love pizza and stuff. We stopped there to feed the team, and I took a bite of the pizza, but I wish I could have had the whole slice. You know, it's just I had to feed the team. And anyways, we're in Italy. How could I pass up a bite of this amazing pizza? You know, I had to take a bite off of it. You know, and then it was like the worst thing ever because I wanted to eat the whole thing, and I had to fight with everything in me not to eat the whole thing.
It's so good, and it's such a different pizza. I mean, you could hold a whole large pizza in your hand, and it's like you don't even know it's there, right? I mean, you'd eat a whole piece, but it's that tomato sauce, man. There's nothing like it in the world.
Bread, the thin little bread, it was delicious, man. It sucked to have to bite it and then put it down, and everybody's picking out in front of me, but you know how it is, man. It's part of the business. I'll get the pig out next week.
So you got some drama with Mike Brown. He tested positive for the COVID-19, so he's out of your corner. Is he there? Is he self-quarantining at Fight Island, or did this happen back in Vegas?
This happened back in Vegas. We were already separated at the time when we got the results, and I haven't seen him since. I took off and I didn't get to see him. Obviously, he has the corona. I can't get next to him, but I think he's asymptomatic. I've been talking to him every day. He has nothing's wrong with him, and I'm so happy. I'm thankful to God that he might have corona, but he has no symptoms whatsoever, so I don't even think he even has like a cold or a cough or anything, so it's amazing.
All right, so listen, you're going to take on Usman. You're a champ yourself, but you're going to fight for his championship. Yours is not in the line. That's the stage that's set. The odds makers have it at a 3-1 underdog, largely because you didn't have enough notice for the fight. And you said, and I quote, I don't need a training camp for a bum fight. Do the odds makers have this wrong? Do you know something that they don't?
No. They got it exactly right. It should be like 5-1 if you ask me, you know. I love the odds. Keep it that way, please.
I got to tell you, I don't know if you have access to social media out there, but Ben Askren just put out a very funny piece, and he was talking about that he underestimated you. So if a random fan just asked him, hey, Ben, how long did it take you to figure out Masvidal is pretty tough? And Ben wrote him back, 5 seconds. I mean, come on. Hey, there's some guys that know how to lose. Ben Askren knows how to lose, man. Come on, that's a cool answer.
I don't think anybody's taking it with more stride. You know, I'll give people a reminder for those that don't know. I got submission of the decade by Toby Imada. I was winning the fight, minute and a half, 2 minutes to go in the third round, and I get inverted triangle. And I remember seeing that highlight everywhere, man. It was just everywhere. I'd open up YouTube to go look at fights or whatever I was looking at, and the highlight would just be there. And you got to take it with a smile, man. I took it and I was like, yeah, I got caught. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some great stuff, you know? So I think Ben's taking it just how you're supposed to take it, right on the chin and keep smiling, you know?
All right, so everybody, I mean, the real talk on this fight is, listen, there's no way that Masvidal can be ready. And I've even had to correct a couple of people. Hold on just a second. Now, first off, this is what Masvidal does. Masvidal just goes and takes fights. Masvidal has not been any less than a 2-1 underdog going into any of his fights at 170 pounds. And this is kind of what he does. He does short notice and crazy things. And by the way, at one point in his life, he did expect to fight Usman on this same date at Fight Island, wherever that was. That got interrupted for about 30 days. So let me ask you this. In those 30 days where it looked like Gilbert Burns was taking your spot,
no, it was about 5 weeks, I think. When we knew, it wasn't the media, I think, might have known, but when we knew already, it was like around 5 weeks. I wasn't in the gym as much. I was in the gym 3-4 times a week. I got, every time I went to the gym, I get in a good session. I live about 2 hours away from American Top Team. So if I'm going to go, I'm going for a good workout, man. I'm not just going to high-five people. Thank goodness I had a couple buddies of mine getting ready for fights, so I was trying to help them out. But I wasn't in the gym every day because I didn't want to burn myself out. You know, I didn't have an opponent. I didn't have a date. So I was training about 3 times a day, 3 times a week at the gym, and the rest I was doing general conditioning, whether it was running, swimming, playing spike ball, lifting weights, things like that, because I've been on the mat my whole life. I just didn't want to be on the mat every day with no opponent in particular. And then when I get a fight, I'm a little burnt out. So I wanted to have that hunger in me and not be in the gym always. But I feel great, man. I'm in good shape. And maybe if I was fighting like Askren, Till, one of these guys, I'd be worried about my condition. These next level athletes. But Usman doesn't cause a concern for me.
Now, you guys are both out there in Florida. Was there ever a time where you crossed paths in the practice room? Have you ever touched him, grabbed him, pushed and pulled with Usman, even in a workout session?
No, never. The closest we got into each other is him asking me for a picture like 5 years ago.
All right. And now you had said, which I think is a true story, but I can't tell if you're being funny. You said the other day, hey, after I beat Usman and grab this title, I might go down to 55 and challenge Khabib, do the champ business. But I also, if I defend this title, I'm defending against Nate Diaz. What is it about the taste left in your mouth after Diaz that you want him again? And I only ask you that because you won. You got your hand raised. How come you want the rematch?
Well, Diaz, for starters, gave me a big opportunity to fight for the belt and stuff and get my name out there. And truly, I like to paint my masterpieces the way I want to paint them. I don't want no man dictating. That quote from Troy when he's fighting the dude, Brad Pitt's fighting some guy and he falls on a pebble and he goes, no, get up. I'm not gonna let no pebble take my prestige away. I forgot what it was, the exact quote, but I don't want nothing to take my greatness away. You know, I'm gonna go in there and take care of business with these, leave them unconscious, and that's it. You know, that'll be all she wrote. Another guy that I'm very interested in is Stephen Thompson as well. I think he beat me. I learned a lot that night. I would love to get back in there, and I think I could give him a complete different look, and I could make it a lot more competitive than it was the first time, and I know I'll have my hand raised.
All right, George, if I can ask you a little bit about your business, which is none of mine, but in all fairness, this was out in the public, and you and the UFC weren't coming to terms. You came to terms with 2 days ago, which is going to be 5 days before the weigh-in and 6 days before the fight, which is halfway across the world. I mean, you crazy son of a gun, and I mean that with full respect. Good for you, buddy. But what did that look like? How did you guys finally get in a room and finally come together?
Well, that was one thing why I wanted to come here and address it, you know, because I know you've been in the business for a while, but I just felt like my value wasn't being met, you know, and a lot of people were misunderstanding it. They're saying, well, you're not fighting Nate Diaz. It's a big draw. Okay, cool. I'm betting on myself and I'm betting on the pay-per-view. I wasn't asking for a shitload of money on the guarantee. It's not what I was asking for. What I was asking for was a bigger share of the pay-per-view that I bring in. So if people tune in to watch me fight, I feel that I should get a percentage off. They're purchasing the pay-per-view to watch me scrap. Because we all know Usman's not the A side. He's not the draw. People are paying pay-per-views. I want a percentage of these pay-per-views. Now how the deal was being set up, I didn't like how the deals were setting up. They were setting up the markers way too high, and they got me once. Shame on me. They weren't about to get me twice, you know, with the same deal. So it took this to happen for me to take a fight in 6-day notice, cut 20 pounds, fly across the world, beat Corona, then end Usman, for me to get closer to the numbers that I wanted. So I wanted to get on here and express it because there was some UFC nights coming out saying that, man, this is ridiculous, this and that. But these same guys are saying that John Jones shouldn't get paid more money to go up the heavyweight But when they went up to heavyweight, they got paid more money, you know? So it's like, and then the public hears these things and gets it twisted. It's not that I want more money, it's that I want a bigger revenue of what I bring. You know, if I'm bringing in $100 million of pay-per-view, well, then give me a nice cut off that. Don't do me dirty. You know, I've done my work. I've never missed weight. Every fight that I've signed for, I've never backed out on some weird shit like, oh, Masvidal couldn't make it for whatever issues. That's never happened. So what more of a clean record could you look for? How many fight bonuses do I have? I don't even know, man. You know, so I just felt that the deal wasn't nowhere where we wanted to be at the first couple negotiations that we had with the UFC before Burns. Now after Burns, they come back to me. Obviously, we got him on the fence, and they were a lot more lenient, and a lot more willing to give me the numbers that I was asking for.
Good for you, George. And I got to tell you, because maybe I owe you an apology. I know who some of those people you're talking about, but man, it comes from the fan in me. I want to see you fight. And by the way, as your senior fighter who's just retired, man, I look back on my career. You don't want those regrets. You don't want to be offered a world title shot and pass it up. And I think that's where I came from. In all fairness, I say a lot of things. I'm trying to kind of recall what some of it was, but I'm happy that you're here, and I feel like I did get my way. So if I got to tell you, if I got to apologize to you, then I'm apologizing to you. But I still am getting what I want, man. I'm getting George Masvidal on Saturday night.
I felt like you broke it down in an intelligent way, and it wasn't wrong. You were expressing your viewpoint. I just felt that that the UFC is not, in some aspects, they're not taking care of us, you know, especially on the pay-per-view side. It just doesn't seem right to me. I'm not saying they give me 60% how it is in boxing, because obviously, as we both know, it's a complete different setup. They spend millions of dollars on marketing, amongst other things. So I'm not asking for 60%, but I am asking for more than the 18% that they're giving us currently, you know? And I just thought that that's what's fair. And if they didn't like it, well, I was willing to sit out indefinitely. Now, some people are like, man, 16 years and now you're going to sit out and not fight for the title. Damn right. I'm going to get paid for this. I'm good at it, and I'm going to get paid for it. If not, I would have sat out indefinitely. You would have not seen me fight maybe a year, 2 years, maybe never again, but I was going to get what I was worth or nothing, you know? That's the type of player that I am. When I'm playing poker, it's the same thing. I'm either all in or I'm not, you know?
And George, that is an interesting point. I didn't know you were attempting to disrupt the model and just go, listen, I don't need a guarantee, but if I come in on the backside, I want shared. And that does seem reasonable. I've never heard of that approach, and it sounds like you were right.
No. And they said no to the deal. I said, don't pay me anything on the guarantee then. We'll do it all on the pay-per-view side. They said no to that deal. We have to put something on paper for the commission. I was like, all right, well, then let's do this, that. And, you know, they were trying to work with me. It wasn't like, fuck, you know, but we just weren't getting nowhere. It was a stalemate. And, you know, they offer this other individual third of what most guys are getting paid for. He's just going from not making no money to fighting for a title. So, of course, he took whatever they threw at him, you know. I just, I got undercut there and I was upset. But God doesn't like when people bully me. And I told Abraham, I told my coaches, I told some of my close friends next to me, this is going to bite him in the ass, man. It's going to come right back to me. Sure enough, here I am.
George, I got one last question for you. It's on a personal note, but Hands of Steel, Roberto Duran, any chance he's out there on Fight Island with you?
He's next door, man. He's taking a little nap right now. He's a little tired.
Come on, swear to God. No, swear he's with you. Man, that'd be pretty cool if Roberto was out there, in all fairness.
It'd be the greatest, but last I heard, he had caught corona, man. I had seen it on the thing, man. So I've been praying for him. We reached out to his family and stuff. They told me he's strong and he's doing well. And I'm sure they're going to take very good care of him in Panama. So I hope he's pulling through and everything's good, man.
Awesome. I will be thinking of anything else you want to get off your chest?
So all my fans wondering where you're going to be able to see the footage, because the training camp footage for this, UFC don't got it or none of that stuff. If you want to see any of that stuff, go to jorgemasvidal.com and check out the stuff that I got. We got a lot of cool things over there, so you can check out many things, you know, for the training camp that I kind of had and stuff like that, and just the lifestyle and things like that. You know, a lot of my fans always ask me to put things like that out. So go to jorgemasvidal.com. You can check a lot of those things out.
Cool. George, my father-in-law, Steve, you met him after you won the BMF title at MSG. Big fan of yours. Made me promise to tell you hello and good luck, and I do wish you the best. Thank you, pal. Enjoy that wake up. By the way, George, when you're cutting those pounds off, think of me eating that pizza you wish you could have had.
Yes, sir. I got you, man. Don't worry. On the way back, I'm stopping back in Italy, and I'm just going to destroy. I'm going to get like 5 pizzas to the face, man.
Do it right. All right.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you, Game Bread. Best of luck.
Thank you, Chael, man. See you soon, man.
All right, guys. George Masvidal. Boy, is there only one George Masvidal? What do you do with a guy like this? I mean, I got to tell you, the way I set that scene up for you guys is exactly the way it happened. I was at home. And I don't live terribly far from it. I was at home and I got a text message from Abe. He said, "Hey man, Masvidal wants to talk." And I said, "Abe, right now? What time is it in Abu Dhabi?" He said, 4 a.m. I said, "George has to be exhausted. What? Is this a real offering? I'm going to the studio. Vince has got to cut. There's a few moving parts there." He said, "Man, I'm dead serious." And I said, "But you got to be exhausted." And he said, "This is not his first rodeo." And I took that line with me because that's a very real statement. This is not the first time George Masvidal has had his back up against the wall. You do need to remember that. This is literally every single fight that George has gone in at 170 pounds, he has been at a minimum a 2-1 underdog. The night he fought Askren, I know he went into fight week at a 3.5-1. I just remember that line moved, and I can't remember how close that it came. And there is something very real about this. Even George Masvidal's initial fight that took place in the backyard somewhere in Florida, filmed by somebody's camcorder, uploaded and lives on YouTube to this day, George was having a cheeseburger at some fast food restaurant. His phone rang. They said, "Hey, we're doing this fight thing. Are you want in? We'll give you $50. He put the burger down and ran over to the backyard. I mean, I'm not bragging about, I'm sharing with you that happened. That's out there. And in many ways, it really is par for the course. How does that work out? And what's him versus Kamara? I mean, look, those boys are going to have to figure that out. But when you do want to sit and speculate about a fight, and you're trying to get into the mind of the athlete and what it is he's going through, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy on fight week, sleep deprived, 19 pounds overweight, that positive and jovial at 5:30 in the morning. What do we make of that, and how do we speculate it will play into the fight? I don't know if I have the foggiest idea. This is a one-off for me. I have literally never seen a guy about to be locked in a cage with the unified baddest dude on earth in that good of a mood.